We had one product that we're selling just like straight sale, like one product, trying to sell it like everyone else. And then we created an offer, buy two, get two free, like added extra like bonuses. Our conversion rate just like exploded.
And your AOV with it. We're here in Brickell. I am visiting the office of Alex Fedotoff. Alex is an absolute legend. You've probably seen him speak at the Affiliate World conferences, or maybe you've seen one of his ads about how to start an e-commerce business. This guy's an absolute legend in the e-commerce space. He's built multiple brands. He's taught thousands of people how to do e-commerce right. He's got an incredible story coming from working for $2 an hour as a factory worker in Ukraine just back in 2013, 2014. Now he's one of the most successful guys I know in e-commerce. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in his office. Come on.
Hey, coming in.
This is the office. We see all the YouTube content.
We have still the Christmas tree.
That's all right, man.
Yeah, we have another one here. This is like our video guy sitting here making content for our products.
Oh, that's sick.
And then we have
run more ads. I love it.
Yeah, two more offices here. Some people working, and yeah, that's another office. That's where the big guy is sitting, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, he's literally the big guy.
Yeah,
he's huge.
Yeah, he barely fits in here. he's large. And then we have another, and we have
a gun.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, so this is
I love
what we do when we're frustrated.
Say hello to my little friend.
We have some dumbbells as well, just to release the stress. and then I have my cave here.
This is where you spend most of your time?
Yeah. I just sit here, like read. I like to read, and then record content here as well. And then we have another office upstairs, but it's like closed. That one is bigger than this one. Half empty, like no one wants to work from the office. Like only people come like few times a week.
How big is your team?
I mean, in Miami we have like probably like 10 people, maybe 10, 12 people. And then we have probably another like 60, 70 overseas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like developers, creative editors.
Yeah. Argentina, we have some great talent in Argentina. Very good talent. A lot in Eastern Europe. I like Eastern Europeans. They're hardworking people.
Yeah, super educated too.
Yeah. They're like connecting the dots very fast. And then some in Asia. We have even people in like South Korea. And then have fridge here, water. Usually it's filled with energy drinks, but I just got off those.
Nice. That's cool, man. It's grown a lot, huh? Like back to how many years ago had you just come from Ukraine? You found a good health, it was like a beauty product. That was your first big one, right?
No, my first business was the Free+Shipping watches. Back in
2016?
Yeah, 16, 17, Free+Shipping watches, that offer crushed. We were buying watches for like $2, $2.50 on AliExpress, and selling those for like $12 shipping. And then would sell bundles, like, hey, you want 2-3 watches, like basic stuff, basic Shopify pages. And people would buy like 2-3 watches and we'll send them the watches. It would be like 40-50 days shipping times. And
old drop shipping.
Yeah. But it still worked, People were okay with it because the perceived value was pretty high. And so that one was first successful one. Killed it to a few $1 million. I was able to sell it as well, which is nice. And like random. I mean, knowing what I know now, imagine putting yourself with what you know now, like 5 years ago.
Dude, of course.
Right? It's like
the ultimate cheat code.
And then 5 years from now, we'll be thinking like, oh, geez,
same thing.
2024 was such a wow, so many opportunities, right? And, only see these things in hindsight. So
long way from working in a factory in Ukraine, earning how much per hour on average?
$2.
$2 an hour, and that was what, 2014?
Yeah, like 10 years ago.
Before you went on Odesk. I remember you told the story about.
Yeah.
You still have the job posting and the first guy that gave you like a big opportunity.
I still have my listing. Yeah, it was Elance, and then
before they merged with Odesk and became Upwork.
And Upwork.
Right?
Actually, so I had my profile on Elance. And I think I did something against their policy, and they shut down my profile. But the good thing is that then Elance turned into Upwork, So I think their database kind of like refreshed. So I was able to create my profile on Upwork. That saved my ass at that point. Now, you know, we're kind of like on the opposite side of things, like hiring people. And it's like when I was a freelancer, I think this is kind of just the mindset stuff where, okay, you have 50 people applying for the same role. Like, how do you differentiate, right? Like, so I was shooting these like personalized videos for clients, ugly videos, ugly camera, but still personalized. Hey, John, I see you posted this job, or you need help.
I get videos like this still.
Yeah. Okay. So, but not everyone does them, right?
No, a very small percentage. And those are the ones that you pay attention to.
Yes,
naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are so fucking lazy. It's crazy. It's like, I mean, you want the job or not? Like, you know, it's like people take this for granted. And I think this is just kind of the mindset. Okay, so what everyone else is doing, and this is applicable to what you do, to what I do, like what everyone else is doing, how you can do things differently, how you can bring some creative twist, bring some fresh ideas, bring some innovation to beat other people, because it's a competition game. No matter what industry, it's like,
doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, it's looking for that competitive edge, and I think that's so important. But what if their salespeople suck?
Then it can become your problem, depending how you're getting paid. But ultimately, like, your traffic will get paused.
Okay.
So let's say they pay you $100 on a 60-second phone call, and I don't know, you get 10 phone calls that last over 60 seconds. You earn $1,000, and they close one deal. $1,000 CPA for them. Maybe they want to be a $300 CPA. So it could be their agents, but it could also be the ads you're running. Most of the time, I find it's their agents. It's not actually you as the affiliate.
So you have no control over it.
Exactly. You can. So that's where it's like this balance, right? Like, do you have a good buyer? Do they know the angle you're running? Is it more aggressive or like more broad, so it's a cheaper cost per call? Mm-hmm. Do they know how to handle that call? Mm-hmm. Are they treating it like a customer service rep or a salesperson? Right? So this is why some guys pivot into going deeper, and like they'll say, well, I've figured out how to get my cost per call down in volume. I'm just going to start writing these policies myself.
At what volume do they usually do that?
Depends on the affiliate. Depends on their level of risk. A lot of affiliates don't make the jump because it's more responsibility. It's like a lot of drop shippers don't go to brand because it's more work, right?
To buy inventory, buy stock.
Exactly. Same idea.
Got it. That is
Dude, it's a mirror. E-commerce, like drop shipping versus affiliate marketing and becoming like a brand owner.
What about, Medicare, like, you didn't do any Medicare?
No.
No? Why not?
I got into affiliate marketing right as Medicare became heavily regulated by CMS, which is the Center for Medicare Services, like the actual government. Because in 2020, 2019, 2021, guys were running super aggressive, like clickbaity ads, over-promising benefits. Obviously, that drives a cheaper cost per lead, a cheaper cost per call. A good sales floor will still write those policies, so they'll know how to script it and handle the call. But you got a lot of complaints from seniors, people taking, it got a little bit messy. So the Medicare budgets didn't disappear, they just consolidated to a few trusted partners, right? So it's very hard, it's possible, I have friends that do Medicare, but it's much harder to go find caps or like capacity to sell Medicare to someone unless you have a relationship. So like when you if you go Monday to the Hard Rock, you're probably not going to see guys saying, hey, we'll buy Medicare calls and leads. Some will. I'm sure there's some networks and brokers there that will, but you'll just have to work your way in with them.
What are the other? So pay per call. You have mostly leads for insurance for you.
I do a little bit of auto, mainly health, and then primarily mass tort, like class action lawsuits.
How much are those leads?
We typically don't sell on a per lead basis, so I'm usually on a CPA. So I actually get paid if there's a contract closed. So depending on the mass tort and what the case value backs down to, like a target cost per acquisition CPA for the buyer, $2K, maybe like $1,800 on the lower end for most, and then up to like $5 or $6K for like a sex abuse case. Now, keep in mind, my cost per lead to get the form fill is going to be $100, minimum $50, sometimes $150, depending on the offer itself.
And you cannot control like how good those leads are, right?
I mean, with your messaging, yes. Like if you say, hey, get paid big, you're going to get a different type of lead than saying, hey, did you have this product and get sick, right? So it's like this balance between promising, not even promising, but hinting that there's some financial benefit, but then also saying what they're actually signing up for, right? You need to find that sweet spot between like dangling the carrot where reminding them that there's a financial perk, but speaking to the actual thing that they're signing up for. And this is the art of it, right? But with that, you need a good partner. You need someone that knows how to script it, how to call the leads consistently, dial them 20 times, not 2 times. And when they answer...
Oh, really? They call 20 times?
They should, right?
But that is also regulated, no?
How many times you call a consumer?
No.
They opt in to be contacted about marketing until they tell you not to, right? So so for example, even whether it's legal or health or auto or whatever vertical, we'll take the traffic, we'll plug in multiple buyers and we'll split it. So let's say we got 4 buyers, 25% of the clicks or the leads go to each.
And you see which one converts?
You'll get different numbers.
And then you would just drive to the one that converts the best?
Maybe one has a lower payout, but they're better at closing. So like the EPC or CPA or like the margin is going to be better for you, the RP, whatever you're measuring and calling it, right?
That's interesting.
It's cool, man. Yeah, it's very different than e-commerce.
Why these companies are not setting it up themselves?
It's work.
It's a lot of work.
I mean, these guys, the majority of the guys running traffic, they're like the drop shipper mentality minus let's go build a brand with this. They see the margin, the front end margin. What did I spend today? What did I make? Like that's the mindset of a lot of these guys.
Like affiliates?
They're affiliates. They're literally affiliates. That's why. There's your answer.
Yeah.
All the guys you met in Bangkok and Dubai that don't want anyone to know who they are. They want to be in the shadows. They want to be behind a computer. You'll see more of that in lead gen and pay per call than I saw in dropshipping.
Oh, really?
Dropshipping people, not everyone, but a lot of guys will at least buy some inventory or go a little like one layer deeper. Whereas a lot of the affiliate guys, they'll do anything they can to stay on that surface level where they can make a lot of money if they do it right.
Interesting. And how long have you been in this industry?
2021 going into like 2022. So
why decided to switch?
I had some fuck ups in e-commerce, and like this was the next thing, right? It's the same skill set with the media buying, and I got lucky, man. Like my 3rd campaign, it was a unicorn campaign. It was probably not going to come around anytime soon. It was basically a class action lawsuit caused by the government, and the government publicly said they were going to pay guaranteed. Like that doesn't happen. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was at a military camp. It's called Camp Lejeune. I don't know if you heard about this offer. Tim Bird made a lot of money doing this, I think.
Yeah.
So there was a military camp. The water was contaminated. People got like cancer and all sorts of terrible health issues like 40 years ago. So there's like probably like 1 million people that got sick from this. And the government actually said, we're going to pay out minimum guaranteed this amount. So it was like shooting layups, for these attorneys. So anyone that wanted to litigate this had guaranteed money waiting.
Wow.
So that was my 3rd campaign I ran. So all those years of running e-commerce, I had a gym before this. So I kind of understood Facebook ads on a local level too. I applied it to this and I remember my biggest day with that campaign. This is the 3rd campaign I ran. We did like 27K and I spent like 10K. Like 17K, what is that, like 300% ROI almost? Like that doesn't happen. You don't see that in e-commerce.
Yeah.
Right? So, or at least not in drop shipping. So at that point I was like, I'm sold.
That's interesting. And so, like, any of these still exist, like government?
There's one they're fighting with, but I mean, you don't need it, man. Like, you just need a good offer where there's cases to be closed, or I mean, this is why so many people do insurance. Like, insurance is going anywhere. Doesn't matter. AI is not going to make it go away, right? Like, people will still buy insurance because they either want to or because the state requires it.
And so you said there's also like LTV deals with insurance?
If you're more so like with insurance, if you're partnered with like the call center or like you own the call center, or you get agents yourself and you license them, then yes. But as an affiliate, insurance not as much. Most of the guys I know that go that route, they go They hire the agents, they get them licensed, and they take the risk.
Ah, okay.
They build the book. They build a business out of it.
So they're pretty much like insurance company at that point?
They become an insurance company. But it's because they already have a flow of calls or leads that they're selling off for like a front end payout. And it's working. And they say, well, fuck, why don't we just take some risk, get the LTV, give up some margin today, but we could maybe sell the book too, like a brand almost.
Oh wow! But if they become insurance company, they need to have enough money to pay if like there's
they gotta float it.
Yeah.
Because the payouts from like even Obamacare or the carriers, you might not get your first payment for 90 days or 60 days or 180 days sometimes.
Interesting. Yeah, it's I'm just like kind of.
It's cool, man. Yeah,
I'm comparing it to e-commerce. You know, the amount of like moving parts and stuff.
How fast the cash turns and.
Yeah.
I mean, but like pros and cons to everything. The grass is always greener. So with lead gen pay per call, there's less bulk overhead, but then you're like floating risk, right? In like you're floating air, right? With policies, like your cost is to get the customer, and then you're floating that until you get paid out on it. If you go like a CPA opening a sales floor and the whole 9 yards, right? Whereas with e-commerce, you're buying in bulk as you see something work or however your process is. Yeah. It's a general idea. Same thing, right?
And then, okay, so let's say you build, you're getting paid. Like how fast do you see whether it's working? Do you see like the same day whether it's working or not? Or like...
If you're operating as an affiliate, strictly, yeah, you'll see, but not all buyers or like offers are created equal. So I'll find, or sometimes you'll even find the same offer, like an advertiser offer, and 3 networks will have it. You can get approved for all 3 networks, and you'll see different KPIs and numbers with the same offer, because the networks get different offers. It's all relationships. So the networks will get different offers. They'll get scrubbed less. They'll get scrubbed more by the advertiser. So it's all relationships at the end of the day.
And so, like networks, they have, if you went directly to the offer owner, like you could get better terms?
Usually the perks of networks is you're more likely to get paid out. There's less risk on a non-payment, which does happen. Advertisers do disappear or fault. And then also payment terms, you'll get like a weekly net 7. Whereas with running direct in the advertiser, sometimes you get those terms if they're a good advertiser, they have cash, right? And they're in a position to offer you good terms with like a good relationship. But a lot of times you're looking at like maybe net 30 or weekly net 14, right? So it's different. Maybe you get paid a little bit more, but you hold more risk. You got to deal more with bullshit with the advertiser sometimes. So running to a network or a broker isn't always a bad thing, but you're definitely paying for it on your margin for sure.
What was the biggest like in e-commerce? Like what were the biggest mistakes you made?
Not diversifying my merchant accounts for sure. Like relying on one PayPal, that was a huge mistake.
You got your money back?
Yeah, eventually. After a while, after a couple of months. Not really focusing on the creative side, like really just trying everything but making better ads. That was probably my biggest mistake. So lead gen taught me that's really what matters.
Oh, so it's the same kind of principles, like creative is very important?
Oh, it's everything, man. Yeah, but even more, like he's my creative director, and we could talk about this after or now, but like generally we'll take, let's say 5 concepts, and then we'll split those into 5 hooks per concept, and then maybe even like 5 iterations of those combinations. So we'll take like 5 concepts and churn it into like 150 ads. And you got to test all of that, because you'll find like a small percentage will disproportionately crush everything else. So I don't know if you need to do that kind of volume today in e-commerce, but that's what works for us in lead gen and pay-per-call.
Yeah, we test like 150, 200 ads per week.
You need to,
yeah.
Right? There's no other option.
Yeah, it's also a bunch of like variations. Like could be the body of the ad could be the same, but then a bunch of different hooks, leads,
same,
like so different actors.
We go very deep with that. I would say I see just from what we do, and like when I spy and look at ads library and what other guys are doing, there's definitely some UGC, but there's a lot like actor, actress UGC, but there's more like AI. There's more like B-roll with scripting. So a lot of like lead gen pay-per-call guys focus on split testing the messaging in the script. and it's just B-roll mashup combinations. Almost like what we'd see in like 2018 with like everyone taking the same freaking drop shipping footage and recycling it, right? So that works in lead gen.
Okay, so it's kind of like in terms of the, because I think in terms of content, in terms of the creative, e-commerce as an industry is probably the most advanced, the most competitive. Like, I mean, you have to like really dial in the creative and you have to compete on such a high level. So lead gen is like, you have to be sophisticated, but maybe not as much.
I think the difference is it's more relationship based because you don't control the actual, you do control the conversion, but you don't, right? You can't change the AOV. You can't like, if you're sending traffic to someone else's funnel, you have no control of what happens. You can't split test the pricing, the bundles, the variants, all this other stuff you could do, which is really cool with drop shipping or brand building, right? You have so many levers outside of just creative. But creative is really what matters, right?
Interesting. I've heard about these affiliate offers for like cruise lines and stuff.
Same idea, lead gen. Yeah, they just want to get customers. Yeah, same shit.
Wow. Okay, insurance. Like, what are the trends in that industry? What do you see kind of like changing over time?
Auto's making a big comeback. So during COVID, for example, less people were driving. I don't know the ins and outs of what happened. The way it was explained to me was less people were driving. There was less car accidents. It shifted the appetite, the demand, and the dynamic for affiliates to drive traffic for auto. Like, dude, pre-COVID, there were people, buddies I'm friends with now in the space, they were doing like 6-figure days on auto insurance. That went away, right? And refi. So a lot of this has to do with interest rates. So with refinance, when interest rates were historic lows, the number of people eligible to literally save money by refinancing was massive. Interest rate goes up, that size disappears, that shrinks, right? So a lot of this actually goes back to interest rates. Solar, have you heard of guys doing solar offers? Solar worked because it was a government subsidized offer. You would get a tax credit.
Not anymore?
Interest rate shifted it. So the cost to finance a solar system is more expensive. So when you compare paying your electric bill and changing nothing versus paying a higher interest on even a subsidized solar system, the cost doesn't make sense.
There's not much kind of like upside.
There's no incentive. Right? So like a lot of these insurance or like lead gen offers in general, not counting mass torts a little bit, but not as much. A lot of this is actually driven off the back of interest rates in some way, directly or indirectly. Super interesting, man. Yeah, like I learn about like government shit I would have never even put attention to in my life that I still wish I didn't have to.
That's interesting. Yeah, I probably like in my mind, like I had the understanding of affiliate industry is like a lot simpler.
It can be, but if you want to like really have competitive edges, you got to go super deep with it.
You have to own as many kind of like.
You got to go as close to the source as you can. Sometimes that's a layer or two. Sometimes you stay an affiliate and things are just fucking cranking, man. It just depends.
What is like in terms of building the floor? Like, what do you know the compensation that those people are getting?
I could connect it to the guys that do. I don't know though.
You want to build your own like sales floor?
I'm planning to open one in Medellin, a transfer center. So we're not going to write policy. We're going to dial data and transfer to the actual intake center. Because I found this gives a conversion lift. So if I just run leads and I post the leads to the buyer in real time and their agents call, I can't control how consistently they call. That's the main thing. So the contact rate's a big thing. You've seen this with your own sales teams, right? If I have a transfer center that's dialing, if I send the lead there, I send the lead to myself, our transfer center dials it, I can like maybe double our conversion rate just through reps of dialing. And I think like this is my way of going deeper, aside from the relationship, like going deeper into the offer. So
having more control.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
But you only get those opportunities to do that based on relationship. That's what's interesting about lead gen and pay-per-call is it's very, very relationship dependent.
So you go.
But I mean, anyone could do it if you just put the time in, right, and just meet the right people.
Do you go to like affiliate world still?
Yeah, it's not as useful for what I do, but like more so just to see what's working, little tricks with Facebook and just see what's happening online.
Affiliate Summit.
I'll be at Affiliate Summit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big one for this industry.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So the one here, it's probably a little bit smaller, but I think the quality of like the networks and the people that are presenting is really good.
Which
Affiliate Summit is more of a blend. You get a little bit like that Nutra Black Hat stuff, but it's definitely more like lead gen pay per call.
People still do Black Hat?
US, some, yeah, more like Nutra. Like some do rebills and stuff
People
like that.
still do rebills.
The affiliate world guys.
Wow.
They'll do, have you heard of like the blanks?
No, what's that?
So they'll explain it better. What a blank is basically it's terrible, man. They say, tell us the price you want. It's a checkout page. Mm-hmm. So you build whatever Ecom thing you want on the front. They click through, they go to the offer owner's checkout page at whatever price point you want, $1, $7. Mm-hmm. Who knows what happens after that?
Oh, it's a credit card submits.
The CC submit rebill for
that's
nothing.
That's pure scam.
Yeah,
like a lot of
it's a scam.
A lot of those people are in Dubai and stuff, right?
Dubai,
Cyprus.
Bangkok, yeah. You've met plenty of these guys.
Yeah. They're doing crazy numbers.
Yeah, because there's no cost.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah.
And they just rebuild these cards?
Until someone figures out how to not get rebuilt.
Wow. Like cancels the card or something.
Cancel the card, block the merchant. I don't know.
This is sketchy
It's something
stuff.
else, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And so like with so for you, like you're going to this event here on Monday, and then you'll have the event in Colombia, right?
My friends are putting on the event in Colombia. That's very media buyer, lead gen pay per call, some Nutra Health offers.
Do you think anything from that kind of side is applicable to e-commerce, like in terms of media buying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the conversation doesn't happen enough between the two worlds, but there's actually a lot of crossover and strategies that could be swapped.
Mm-hmm. Most of the people, like, for example, pay-per-call, like they're based in the US?
It's growing more, but it was 5 years ago, it was only US. Now you see more guys, because Nutra's getting harder, Black Hat's getting harder. So a lot of those guys are shifting into insurance and all the US lead gen, the more white hat, gray hat stuff.
Oh, really? That's a trend you're observing.
Yeah. Like you go to Affiliate World, you see pay-per-call now. 3 years ago, you wouldn't see any pay-per-call networks. You'd see some lead gen, but it's more like Nutra. More gaming, dating.
Why didn't you go to Nutra?
Just personal preference.
Yeah?
Yeah. Doesn't get me excited.
Yeah.
I mean, it sells, man. Don't get me wrong. But it's just not my thing.
That's interesting. Ooh.
Interesting world we live in, right?
Yeah. It's all the industries are changing so fast.
What are you seeing with Ecom?
I mean, e-commerce, man. Like, if you're not like multi-channel, you're fucked.
Like specifically, what channels?
Like Amazon. If you're not on Amazon, if you're not doing TikTok Shop, like if you're like purely relying on Facebook, kind of like very direct response-ish like way, like there's like diminishing returns on that over time.
From comparing to last year or 3 years ago or 5 years ago?
Yeah, so it's basically kind of like, the way I see it is, it's kind of like declining. So if you want to build like a brand, like long-term business, I mean, you can switch from like offer and offer, like just like new aggressive offers. For us, like our vision's like long-term. We want to build a business that's like, growing year over year. Yeah, sellable, yeah. So for us, it's just the multi-channel. Also, the people like in my network, they're like Amazon, they're like TikTok Shop, they're like native, also not purely relying on Facebook, YouTube.
Wow.
Like,
Dude, native guys are the best of the best.
Oh yeah, those are. Yeah, and it just being like on multiple different channels. I think that's so important. More important than it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Because like the costs on Facebook are rising, right? So you have to offset those costs with other channels. Otherwise, like, with e-commerce, like it's it's inventory. You have to buy the inventory. You have to invest back into the business, right? So you have to be profitable. And so if you don't have that like arbitrage of like, cost of traffic, then Facebook will just eat all of it. I mean, I even had a conversation with Josh Snow. Like last year, he told me like their costs on Facebook were just fucking astronomical.
Like 30-40% more probably.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then you have all the fixed costs, you have the overhead, you have the warehouse, you have the inventory. Like you have to have cash kind of like to constantly, you need to hit like specific profit margin in order to just keep reinvesting back into the business. And you have all of the fixed costs as well to compensate for. And
so how does someone come into this space new, or let's say like someone watching this is affiliate, they're like, I'm done with the lead gen, I don't want to go build the relationships, I want to build a brand or just move into e-commerce where I have more control. What are the key things they need to do to be successful if they have the skill set of media buying already in creatives?
Oh man, I mean, I would probably do, if I was starting from scratch, let's say I had the skills but I had low capital, I would do like TikTok shop. It's the same affiliate model, by the way, like becoming TikTok shop affiliate. So you're just driving traffic.
So you're the guy on camera actually like promoting the thing.
Yeah, sometimes you can be like faceless. You don't have to be even on camera. There's like AI as well that you can leverage to create content. And so you basically promote other people's products. You're getting paid for it. You accumulate cash. And then once you have, sufficient capital, then you can launch your own product, promote it yourself, train other people to promote it. But I think TikTok right now is probably the best kind of like opportunity.
Is it going to go away in what, 10 days?
Nah, no. I
they're gonna solve it.
I mean,
right before the last hour. Yeah,
for sure. I think it's not going away. And I mean, okay, even if it goes away, I mean that will only give upside to Facebook, YouTube, like all the
YouTube's created basically like the same model, right?
Yeah, and I mean Facebook tried it a few years ago. They just fucked it up. They couldn't execute it well, and I think that model, like where you have the affiliate who's benefiting, who's making money, brands are benefiting because they're only paying based on the performance. It's the same affiliate. It's the same
CPA
affiliate model.
Yeah.
Right? So what you said exactly, it's like there's a lot of overlap between like e-commerce, because this is e-commerce, right? And this is affiliates, right? But it's the same principle where you as a like entrepreneur,
You're driving traffic.
Yes.
At a fixed CPA.
Yes. You're making money for someone else. You're getting cut of it. Everyone wins.
Yeah. It's super cool.
Yeah. So I think TikTok Shop is probably the biggest one. And also, talking with Josh Snow, he's like, so his Facebook like costs were like increasing, kind of the business wasn't as profitable, and then they added TikTok Shop, and just all dynamics of the business changed because now, let's say if you do a lot of stuff on TikTok Shop, you're generating a lot of views, a lot of awareness about your brand.
So it's cyclical, feeds into the Facebook.
Yes.
Actually
Google, like people search your brand on Google. People go to Amazon to find your brand. So now it's kind of like feeds all of the platforms, gives you that top of the funnel awareness about your brand. But you have like bunch of affiliates that are promoting your product. They're making money, so they're incentivized to push it even more. So it's like it's a win-win scenario for everyone who's in the game.
Have you found what's worked for you to get TikTok creators on board and actually committed to promote and do a good job? Have you had to build like an education component and like advertise to creators?
Yeah, it's getting good creators on board is probably one of the hardest things, because they have many different options what products to promote.
They know their worth now.
Yeah,
if they're good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just incentives. For example, like giving people, like if they hit a certain amount in sales, giving them like an extra bonus, just paying them yourself.
Do you put some on retainer?
Some on retainer, like $1,000, $2,000.
But it's still cheaper than running cold traffic, right?
Yeah, if you're spending so for us, we're spending like millions of dollars per month on ads. Like it's kind of like for $1 million, and we're still on Facebook, still majority. But it's gradually kind of like moving towards that direction where.
But you're seeing the same effect where like bringing the creators on board is actually averaging your CPA, or it's increasing conversion on Facebook.
It's lowering the overall like marketing. It's increasing the marketing efficiency ratio, which is how much you're spending on ads, how much you're generating in revenue on average. It's definitely helping that. But we still have like a long way to go.
Yeah. Are you doing just U.S. brands or?
U.S., yeah. We're mostly focusing on 2 brands now. And these are some of our products. Just don't show it on camera. And yeah, it's yeah, e-commerce is exciting. I think also another big element in e-commerce is if you don't have some kind of like subscription, if it's consumable products, you don't have high repeat purchase rate. Like, so again, LTV game, it is very hard to make it work.
Because
Like
the LTV is what you really, where you win.
yeah, because like, so let's say, I made a lot of money like 19, 20, 21, 22 with like gadgets, right? Like just one-time purchase, like 3% repeat customer rate, like non-existent almost. And you sell the gadget, it might be profitable, but then what happens is diminishing returns over time. Like more people jump on the product, people have
Ad
seen
cost
like,
increases
yeah,
too, naturally.
Yeah, if you have like 500 million impressions, like billion impressions for your product, you're just hammering people. Like people see the offer, people see the product. It's kind of like, okay, what's the alternative solution is only to kind of like release, or find another product that people have not seen before, right? And just kind of like going through this cycle, or to add some other consumable products on the back end so that will get customers to come back and buy from you again. So you build more sustainability in your business. And so, yeah, I didn't think it from that perspective. And then
Because it was easier then.
yeah, we're just like,
naturally.
let's find another offer.
Yeah.
Boom, let's scale it up. And so
It's the same as what we were talking about with lead gen and pay-per-call,
Yeah.
where guys will stay surface level, they won't go deeper, and then the few will open the insurance floor, they'll get the agents, they'll train them, they'll license them,
Yeah.
they'll hold the risk in the book.
it's
Same exact thing.
Yeah, I think getting to the next level in the business is usually associating with taking that like leap of faith and just taking the hit up front, at the beginning. But I mean, that applies to any business. Like
Yep.
if you want to take your business, you want to expand, you have to take loans. Like you want to like get like 10 restaurants instead of one, right?
Right.
You have to like buy, the facilities and like, and take that risk. So, and I mean, obviously not everyone will want to do it. Like the same, some people, affiliates, drop shippers, they just
Becomes your
wanna,
moat though, like your separator from the
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, it's and I think like all of these, there always will be a way for people to kind of like make money like short term and not having like more of this complexity in the business. But it also depends like what are the goals. If you want to make like a few $1 million, fine, you can do it like very simple, kind of like find the easiest way without taking too much risk. If you want to take your business like 8 figures, 9 figures, like above that, then it's usually associated with like
More risk.
Yeah,
Right?
Getting
Why you
deep,
get paid that much.
yeah, getting deeper into the game, and it's not for everyone. I think it's only for selected few. And so yeah, for us, like we've but 2 years ago we just like started kind of moving like long-term direction with the business, and it's been a great journey, like a lot of fucking learnings.
What have been some of the most memorable highs and lows from the last 2 years?
Man, so many of those. I mean, mostly it's. I think with e-commerce also, like with e-commerce, like one of the most impactful things, specifically on Facebook, it's the offer, like cracking the offer for the product. Like for example, we had one product that we're selling just like straight sale, like one product, like trying to sell it like everyone else. And then we created an offer, like buy 2, get 2 free, like added extra like bonuses. Our conversion rate just like exploded.
And your AOV with it.
Yeah,
and the margin.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. And
So
then
you got higher conversion, lower CPA, higher
Yeah.
margin on top with the higher AOV.
yeah, our costs, our COGS, cost of goods increased because we would have to give like products for free, but like our conversion has increased. And I think it's just kind of like being creative. Also like talking with Josh Snow, like was there affiliate offer? They had like Snoop Dogg or something, kind of like creating.
Celebrity.
Yeah, they paid Snoop Dogg like whatever amount to make like a few ads with their offer. So now like boom, that just scaled up very well. They integrated like him into like landing pages and stuff like that, and but that's kind of like unusual creative way, like when everyone doing things in a certain way. You can obviously rip, like, and I think e-commerce entrepreneurs, affiliates, like they're good with like monitoring what's working and ripping and replicating.
Same thing with lead gen affiliates, same thing. You probably even worse. Yeah.
Everyone's looking. And then, but then, you're getting the biggest ones from just like bringing some new creative ideas, new creative concepts. There's one e-commerce brand, I forgot the name. They have these ads. They're selling like very commoditized product, which is the deodorant, kind of deodorants for, and very commoditized. Like, it's probably one of the most competitive categories. Like, you're competing with fucking Old Spice, like, with stuff that has been around for like 100 years. And they have this format of the ads where the guy's like inside of the store reviewing all of the other deodorants and talking about all the shit that's like in them. It's like just like very unique. Doesn't look like an ad. Yeah. Right? It's like, hey, this is garbage. This is
looks like a TikTok almost.
Yes. Yeah. So I think cross-pollinating these, like the same way as, like you said, e-commerce affiliate versus also, like, let's say if you're advertising on Facebook, but you're also going on TikTok and seeing what's working, what new formats you can take and implement and adapt. Just having that creative out of the box thinking.
So we hunt for, like, so every week we do a creative review of past performance from the week, and then we'll literally spend time going through TikTok and looking at something that grabs our attention, not because of what the ad is, but just because of how it's done. And we then ask, how can we turn this into like an auto insurance ad? Because something about that style and format like grabbed the back of my lizard brain and sucked me to the phone to watch, for whatever reason.
I love that. I think that's the way to do it. And in terms of the competitive advantages with AI, many things can be like, speed up, made more efficient. You can use many tools. But then that creative thinking, out of the box thinking, is one of the,
unpredictable side of things, which disproportionately performs sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll fail a lot, but that's okay.
But then if
you just need one.
If you hit like one of those ideas, like that's just like gives you that at least temporarily like competitive edge that you can scale with, and then you'll see like 20 other people trying to rip you.
Of course.
Replicate.
Well, they think it's working and they don't know for sure.
Yeah. What are the tools that affiliates are using? Like, what do you use for tracking?
RedTrack is the go-to for most guys with...
not volume?
No, volume's super expensive. And RedTrack is evolved in many ways that fit affiliates more than volume. Like 5 years ago, volume was the go-to. That's on clicks and then like just Facebook side of things specifically, not as much Google. I think more guys, I can't remember what they use for Google. I'm not a big YouTube guy. But most guys use a different tool for Google ads or YouTube ads for attribution. And then Ringba is the primary call tracking platform.
Oh, that's the guy you mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's like 10 minutes from here. You guys got to link up.
Ringba.
Yeah.
So that's for calling. And then for...
Also use, if you own like the flow, like the actual funnel and the form, there's Leadspedia for ping posting your lead. So you capture the data, you post it into like a CRM structure, and then you distribute the lead out. And that's where you get paid out on a...
That's what you said will be regulated.
Yeah, so that's going to be shifting. It's not going away, but shifting in some ways. But those softwares will still need to exist, more or less, right? And then I also store data on like Go High Level. We have SMS flows and email flows there as well.
Oh, interesting.
So we kind of tie all this tech together,
So you said car insurance is the one that's going to pop?
Auto's growing. So I know guys doing huge numbers with it because everyone needs auto insurance that drives a car. Health
but
insurance.
like, okay, so what if you have, why people, like, I'm curious, are there people that don't have car insurance that are opting in for it? Or people that already have car insurance and they just want cheaper rates?
Mainly that.
Cheaper?
Yeah. Like it's the never-ending get the same thing for less. Right?
Got it. Yeah, I'm getting hit with some of these emails somehow they fucking managed to send them to my inbox.
Co-reg.
They're
Someone sold your data, you know that.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm updating from one thing, like exactly what he said.
Yep.
And then like people call me like, the fuck, I never give you my phone number, I never gave you my email. Like, so, and then they're sending me these emails like, upgrade your car insurance. Like, the fuck, you know my car, like everything about like.
And also, if I capture your name, phone, email, there's services I can match that data set against. It's like a data appending service where they have a massive consolidated database that they've collected from tons of sources around the web, from form submissions from you in the past, or credit polls or whatever public data is out there, or private data, and they'll combine it so you could actually pay to append your data. So if you fill out a web form for me, I could pay one of the services to basically match against their monster database and then append data points.
Like enrich data?
Yes, enrichment. That's the correct word. So I could find out if you're a homeowner, how many cars you have, like all sorts of credit score range.
And what do we do with that data? Sell it to someone?
Well, that's where things are changing. Guys do that now. You can. Technically, you can, right? But that goes away in like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
But I can market to you differently if I know you own 2 homes, you have 3 cars, your credit score is 800 plus, you have 2 kids. The messaging that I could use to market to you directly as the data owner, as the person that owns that contact, changes rather than just having your name, phone, and email.
Do you upload data to Facebook, like custom audiences?
I don't.
No? It's not matching that well, right?
No, I don't do any lookalikes. On the media buying side, we go broad targeting, age range, and sex, if anything.
Mostly Facebook is your source of traffic?
For me, Facebook.
Yeah.
We started doing some YouTube, but not the volume that I know. Like I know some guys that they'll spend $100K a day on Facebook ad or YouTube ads for health insurance. Yeah.
For auto insurance?
Health.
For health insurance?
Yeah.
Wow.
ACA's or the Obamacare, it is Medicare, right? Like, but just broader and bigger. In a sense. Less regulated too. So Obamacare or ACA is what Medicare was 3 years ago, but it's now changing. So there was a lot of questionable practices last enrollment period, not this year, but the year prior. And like all sorts of like lawsuits and complaints and stuff. So every marketers ruin everything, right? So the industry's shifting. This will happen to auto insurance in 3 years probably too. So.
What are the other like affiliate offers? Like for example, Wix?
Vapor Rub?
No, Wix. Wix. Wix.
No.
Create like a website or something.
Wix.
Oh, Wix.
Yeah.
So they have some good affiliate program.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying it definitely works, right? But from a paid traffic Facebook standpoint, is the arbitrage going to make sense? I don't know the angle to run Facebook ads to convince people to sign up for Wix. Right? But yeah, like you could find affiliate offers for all this stuff. You could take your brands that you have and create affiliate offers for them too if you wanted to. So we see a lot of like the ClickBank guys, right? Like they'll prove it internally. They'll build out their KPIs, their LTV. They'll know what their CPA is. Then they mark it down 10%, 20%, or base it off the LTV, and then they'll price it out on ClickBank. ClickBank has distribution of affiliates to run traffic where they get that payout.
Is ClickBank still big?
ClickBank's huge, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, like any big affiliates from ClickBank?
Yeah. Like, so a lot of the guys that do lead gen pay per call, not all of them, but some of them are big Nutra guys, or like they'll shift to those kinds of offers. Or maybe they were big on ClickBank before and now they focus on lead gen and pay per call.
Usually the best guys are just focusing on one vertical, one kind of like niche.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. I know personally when I focus, it just works better. I've juggled multiple, but it can also be messy too. Most of the guys I know that stays an affiliate, they crush by just maximizing one big broad vertical. Health, that's why I like health insurance, auto insurance, it's massive, right? Talking about hundreds of millions of people that are eligible for the offer.
Yeah. What year you moved to Colombia?
What's that?
What year you moved to Colombia?
Year and a half ago.
You like it?
Love it, man. Yeah. I was in DC for 20 years. It was cold, Everyone works for the government. Like,
Yeah.
they're not happy. So I don't know. Like I would have moved here actually if we didn't move to Colombia. Miami's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like the energy of the place. It's the craziness. The traffic sucks, but you know you're in a good area. If you stay in this bubble right here, your life is probably very simple, right?
Yeah. We love it here. And then, like, how's life in Colombia?
It's cool. It's chill. Yeah, just go to the coffee shop and work every day.
You have a mate?
We have someone that comes once or twice a week, depending if we need it. It's just me and my wife and the dogs. So, you know, I train jujitsu every day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There's some good gyms for jiu-jitsu?
I found one pretty good gym. A lot of expats. Yeah, it's cool. We built a little kind of community there. Just other expats and some Colombians.
Which city is that?
Medellin.
Medellin?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one with like perfect weather all year round?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like San Diego weather?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard. Wow.
It's cool, man. You got to come down.
Yeah, it's such a short
It's a
flight.
3-hour direct flight.
Yeah, it's like the same as to DC almost.
Yeah. What's how do you balance? You're here to Saturday. Thank you for taking the time on a weekend.
Yeah.
How do you balance everything you're doing with having now 2 kids?
2 nannies, and then I think it's mostly 2 nannies. They help a lot, and then they go to school. I mean, one of them goes to school, another one also will start going soon. And then we spend some time in the morning. We spend some time in the evening. The rest of the day, we work.
Do they come and visit you here sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. I think just getting that help I think is very important, like with nannies. And then we travel together, spend some like different locations, different environment. They're fully present because like at home, they kind of like iPad or TV, like they have access to that. And like when we're traveling, like they're fully present, so we spend some great moments together. Yeah, we just came back from mountains. It was a great time, and then on the weekends trying to do some sports together, like some tennis and basketball.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but I think mostly just getting help. Most people are not getting help. Like they don't have anyone to help them. We don't have any family here. Like no parents. No.
Is your family all in Ukraine?
Yeah, my parents are there. My sister is in Canada. She has her own family, and we don't have anyone here, so we're just getting external help.
Why don't more people do that? Like, especially even I have a lot of friends that they're so stressed out and they make good money. Like they could definitely budget easily for like help. Do you have an idea of why people in positions to be able to get help don't?
I think it's guilt, parents' guilt. We've had that. They think it's kind of like neglecting, their kids. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, you can do the best for your family if you work, if you make money, if you grow as a person. I think that's probably the main reason. People just have the parents' guilt. Yeah. And they think that they will kind of give their kids better kind of upbringing than other people, which could be true. But it also depends on what kind of
depends on the parent. Right? Yeah, depends on who they are.
Yeah, it depends on the nanny too. Like so, I think it's I think it's an individual kind of decision for everyone. But we found it to be like very helpful. We can focus on work, and then nannies help us out, and we get everything done.
And then when you're there with them, you could be fully present.
Yeah,
because the work's done. You're not having this big intertwined work life as much. Whereas some of the parents that try to take on the full capacity of full-time parent plus full-time business owner.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a big one. And for us, like it took time to readjust. Like we come home from work, like sitting on my phone all the time. And now it's just like, just learn to, put my phone on airplane mode. Like.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You pull the plug.
Yeah. So I think that's the only way. Just fully kind of detach, be fully present. Yeah. And then, I mean, school, so we're trying to do like activities for kids, like swimming, like martial arts, like basketball, like as many activities as possible. I think it's important for them to develop a discipline like very like young age.
Sports teaches you things that
Yeah.
you need. And a lot of kids, especially that I grew up with in the U.S., they don't have that. They can't handle losing very well.
Oh yeah.
And I look at a lot of them. They were the ones that weren't in sports. Like that, there is some correlation there. I think
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's such a big one, and they have to control their emotions, like because kids usually if they want something or they don't want to, like they
get
you
their
know,
way.
Yeah, but then like sports, I mean, and we have like for swimming, for instance, we have like a strict coach, so he just like he's pretty strict.
No emotion.
Yeah. He's like, you don't want to swim? Well, good for you.
Well, get in the
You're
water.
still swimming? Yeah. Oh, the water is too cold. Well,
Get in. Swim faster.
yeah, you will warm up as you go. So, I think sports are very, very good for kids. I don't know, like with kids here in Miami, I don't know. I don't know if I want my kids to grow up here.
You get a lot of a mixed bag though, right? You get a lot of like hardworking immigrant families too.
Yeah. But it's like just like with kind of the entertainment here, the culture.
But dark paths people can go down to, I'm sure, if they're not matured. What do you think they are?
Yeah, and like I mean, we're considering like the private schools, the best private schools, and like usually the more expensive private school is, the more drugs there is. And
Really?
Oh, 100%. And then the more, because I mean, usually we have some friends that are working in these schools and they directly working with these kids. Usually they're neglected by parents. Parents like very rich.
They're too busy working.
Yeah, busy
and enjoying
working.
it.
Hey, here's your money. Here's your car. Like 16 years old. Like here's like Lamborghini.
Don't screw it up. Yeah.
Yeah, just take it. Give them money. Like what do kids do with it? They're neglected.
Whatever they want.
They don't feel loved.
Yeah.
And they're going like not the best direction. So
You might make a move.
yeah, Switzerland.
Where to?
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah, we like
Oh
Switzerland.
wow, what
Yeah.
a change.
Yeah, we just like it. We spent summers there. And
How many languages do your kids know?
Spanish.
They're fluent in Spanish.
Yeah, my older one, yeah. I mean, the younger one, no. But
That's super cool.
yeah, he speaks with nannies, with a cleaning lady, and in school also pretty much everyone speaks Spanish, like the kids. And so yeah, he just learned it, like, and we try to speak like Ukrainian to him, like Russian, like he doesn't want to. He understands everything.
Dude, that's really what matters.
Yeah. And but he doesn't want to. But he understands everything. Like we're talking with my wife, and he understands everything, but he doesn't respond. Like he's like, "What do you say? Can you repeat this in English?"
Nope.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think the more languages. I mean, I would have my kids learn Mandarin. I think that will be
Such a competitive edge.
Yeah. I was in China a few months ago, and many people there don't speak English. I mean, it's good we had like translators, we had like the whole crew with us, but like if you don't speak English, I mean, you're kind of like, you can't communicate, people don't understand.
And if you want to do business there, it's a game changer. If you're fluent English, fluent Mandarin.
Yeah, it's like a billion people. So if you speak Spanish, you speak English, you speak Mandarin, I mean, you cover
Go anywhere in any corner of the planet, and you're good. You'll communicate with someone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you covered Chinese, like 1 billion people, like 1.5. You have English, which is, I don't know, probably a few bill, and then Spanish as well.
Maybe Arabic is all that's left.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the next one. Yeah.
Are your kids showing, or your older one, is he showing interest in business?
Oh yeah, he's very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
He's like, he has money. I pay him money for.
That's so cool.
Yeah. We're making some videos together, and like for every video he gets paid. We make some ads together, and he gets paid for those, especially if they perform.
Yeah, he gets a bonus.
Performance bonus. Yeah. So that's it's kind of like incentivizing me on that, and then also, I mean, if he's kind of, I don't want to reward for this like financially, but if he does like, let's say he cleans up his room, he can play iPad. If he doesn't clean up his room, he doesn't have iPad. Kind of like,
It's like a positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Not a financial compensation.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't want to like It's like,
Where's the money? The bed's made.
he's very like, yeah, he's very capitalistic kid. Yeah, negotiates like, hey, here's $20. I made 2 videos. Like, you have to pay me 40. It's like, hey,
It's like he's on Upwork fighting with you.
yeah. It's like, hey, I mean, one of them was not good. Well, I still did it. I want my $40. So yeah,
That's so cool.
planning to have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think kids are. It's it's not easy. It's and there is a lot of kind of like added responsibility, but then like you just adapt. You just adapt, and if you're getting some help, making money, like you can just have that extra help, and it just you kind of like adapt it. Like there's many entrepreneurs I know that have like 5 kids, and they still operate successful business. So anytime I kind of like not.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah. Which one?
The code should have been.
I'll have to wrap up soon.
Bro, it was awesome, man.
John,
Great catching up with you. I'm really inspired by what you do here, and I hope everyone learned at least a few things I know I did just from this conversation.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you guys soon.
Cool. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.